So about 6 months ago, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I downloaded Destiny 2, and over those corresponding 6 months, I sank myself into more insanity. I did miss Ruta Nightmare's raid launch, so with Crota coming up, I knew I wanted to play it. The only downside though, is that I have never done a raid, I've never done a GM, and I've never done a dungeon. So I went to the next scariest place, Destiny 2 LFG Reddit. I actually looked up pretty well. I found a recruitment for a little clan that was set up, and I instantly was just like, fuck it, why not? I'll join. Everyone seemed pretty chill at start, so I said, fuck it, let's do a Crota run. Heading in, you can see my loadout change every once in a while. Like I have targeted redaction crafted, and then I have the Iron Banner fusion rifle and a eager edge sword on, and you'll see that it'll change over time, wipe after wipe, but it ends up being for the first encounter a Wither Horde, a mini tool, and then the Trials LMG. Something also to mention is that I started playing this back in March. So I have a good idea of like different loadouts and stuff, but the main thing is that I was playing Hunter and Titan this entire time, not spending a whole lot of time on Warlock. So a lot of like my Warlock gear wasn't the best. I mean, I still had 100 Rezil and about 75 Recov, and then the rest I just didn't really care about. It was kind of a sketchy build to go into this. So starting out, I had myself, Bushino, J-Riz, Psycho, Roxas, and Trippy. Everyone was pretty nice, but the only issue that I have was Trippy's mic was horrid. So throughout the video, if you hear like wind blowing or like someone hitting a vape or like anything of that source, like just audio garbage, it's probably coming from Trippy's mic. Then we have one of many teaching lessons from Trippy and just everyone else just to try to get the mechanics down, so then we could like at least get a good clear. The whole mechanic for the first encounter got me confused for a little bit just because I didn't realize that I didn't realize that the spires explode after a time, and so that got me killed a couple of times. But after that, we just kind of kept grinding it, trying to get as far as possible. There was also the free weekly chest, so I ended up picking up some spoils as well. That wasn't too bad. Then at this point, Trippy wanted to get some food. He hadn't eaten yet, and Hoshino had to drop out. Our new group consisted of Juicebox and nobody. Then we had to redo the list just to make sure that everyone got their timing right and no one broke the chain. But to be fair, there was a couple of times where we would do the encounter and Trippy would accidentally pick it up before somebody else, and most of the time that was me. Just because somebody would call it out, Trippy would immediately go over and pick it up, which, I mean, shit happens, not really. I don't really care about it. Then we finally got to the plate. The first time getting to the plate was actually our first clear. It was a little bit chaotic because we did have somebody down back at the previous spire that we couldn't get to. Essentially, we just killed ogres and then charged the chalice to charge the plate, and by the end of it, the bridge started to form, and you can see me take my sweet ass time on this bridge because I was just like, there is no way that we just did this encounter and I'm gonna get booped the fuck off. Also, something that I should mention is that we did this in 2 stints and it was a total of 5.5 hours long. Our first day was 2 hours on this encounter. I do have to go back and look at like the specific dates of everything to put this into perspective. This is my first ever true encounter in a raid. And of course I get legs. Like, I get leg armor. I mean, to be fair,
Well, to be fair...
Oh, don't say to be fair. I hate when people say to be fair.
Oh, to be fair.
To be fair. To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Well, to be fair...
I think it is juice. Oh yeah, it is pretty juice. It is kind of juice. 64 base. I mean, it's all right. I mean, 64 base raid armor is pretty good. People had to go and we couldn't continue on this night, so we ended up going another day for the bridge encounter. So from the bridge encounter on, we do have a new roster. We have 100, Juicebox is returning, Roxas is returning. I don't think we had Skelly before, but then we did have Trippy. Then we had another sit down and explaining the encounter just so that everyone was on the same page. I was on one of the plates, so I think I was 3rd over, and it was actually pretty straightforward. I ended up switching out my mini tool for my Armit AR would helped with barriers and stuff, but then I did have blinding GL on. Caveat is that I just used a pardon. Oh yeah, I still do have the Trials LMG on. It was just good because it had kill and tally on it, so it just worked out well. So I didn't use it a lot, so I was hot swapping between the Armit and the blinding GL. So then after killing the Gatekeeper and dunking, I was back onto a plate and I was back onto Add Clear Andy, which, you know, it's Add Clear Andy time. And we actually got it first go. I was genuinely happy that I was just like, we didn't have to do it again. It was my first time ever doing bridge and we just got it done and out of the way, and it was super easy. Well, not super easy, it was kind of difficult. Then after that, we had another sit down of just explaining the encounter. Actually, I believe with this encounter, you can run up and grab the chalice and then run back. You can see me holding it right now. You can charge it up so then everyone is enlightened, and then when you get into the room, you can just dunk it and then you can take care of everything right from the go. We only had 2 wipes, which I was actually pretty happy about, from the fuck is her name? Ute. Like true like wipes where like we didn't get enough damage or anything. But then I'll just let it play, and it actually worked out so well. You see me strafing the fuck out of that well. You'll see me like dancing. I was doing the fucking Michael Jackson hee hee. I was going crazy and I was skirting around.
Honestly, I kind of want to wipe for damage. Like, I know, I'm curious. Okay, let's wipe for damage. Yeah, he's mouthy.
Oh, that's... Oh, you want to... You guys want to win? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, wipe.
Alright. Yeah, we almost did it. Wow. That's crazy.
Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, I want to see my damage personally.
Wow.
But I was just
Alright,
like,
ready?
I was genuinely happy with myself. I was just like, this is like fucking crazy. That was my first ever, like, well, not first ever. We did wipe previous times before that. But then we just tapped it right in on another encounter, and it was just super easy.
Kick her ass.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Oh.
Hi, Ariute.
Then we have Adolphus. He was born with a Gallahorn in his hand. He was born with a twin that had div on already. He was born into the world a just god at this game. Adolphus, I genuinely thank you for like all your help in all of this. I have never done a Crota run, so this is the first time I get to see Crota spawn in, and I can just say it was really cool.
And if you want to show, stand in front.
God, I love this spawn in.
I do
Ooh,
too.
that's cool.
Nostalgia.
Well, that's a better entrance than Oryx. Certainly has a flair for...
Theatrical.
His son is very theatrical.
And this time, they just open it up against...
And so after he spawns in, basically we just have to kill knights, deal with all this stuff, and then we start damage. So both damage phases, I missed the start. This is the shit that was kind of pissing me off, is that I was just Add Clear Andy trying to help out, kill wizards, kill knights, doing all this, and then they're just like, damage, let's go. And I'm like, all right, I'm headed over. And then I missed the fucking jump. So I miss about like, what is that? Chunk of health. And then I'm like, all right, let's go to town.
Oh. I'm gonna put mines up.
It's fine.
Alright, get out. Alright, good job, guys.
Yeah, 4 is
We
about...
get Crota down to about half health, so realistically we could hit last stand. Also, I don't have Lament at all, so that's why I'm just using my crafted sword.
Take one well for final stand.
Alright, get out and give it a second.
I have a well.
Stay well.
What the hell?
And let me know what
Now.
Wall if you have it.
Done.
Remember Oversoul?
Alright, Oversoul in 5. Somebody pop the Oversoul.
Get his ass.
Yeah.
Dude,
We got it.
that's my first ever fucking raid, man.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, really?
Congratulations.
Nice.
Welcome.
Okay.
Nice.
Unbowed.
And even missing part of the damage phases, I still put up 3.4 million damage for Crota. I was, I think, middle of the pack? Yeah, I was middle of the pack on damage.